If you're into hiking, you probably already know what this thing is. But in case you don't, it's the Sawyer Mini water filter. I've owned the Sawyer Mini for about a year now, and it's my go-to water filter whenever I'm hiking. Essentially, this allows me to never carry more than 1 or 2 liters of water, regardless of how long my trip actually will be. It's a hollow fiber membrane 0.1 micron water filter. According to their specification, it filters 99.99999% of all the harmful bacteria and other particles that are larger than 0.1 microns. What it doesn't filter though is viruses, heavy metals, pesticides, and chemicals. What this means in real life is that whenever you're hiking, you should look for a natural source of water just like this one, that hasn't been contaminated with chemicals or waste. For instance, safe sources could be a puddle, a river, a lake, or something along those lines. Basically, anything that isn't near a factory or a large city. In terms of taste and color, the Sawyer Mini removes all taste from green matter, bacteria, and dirt. If the water source is heavy in metals or minerals, it will still look a bit darker than usual after filtering, and also taste a bit different, but the water is still safe to drink. Another thing is that it can filter up to 100,000 gallons of water before it needs to be replaced. I can basically guarantee that you won't filter that much water in your lifetime, so this thing will last a long time. Whenever I'm hiking, I usually carry 2 1-liter Sawyer pouches for contaminated water and one 1-liter bottle for clean water, so 3 liters in total. Can be used with any bottle or pouch that has a standard 28mm thread. I just found that the Sawyer pouches were a pretty good deal because you get 3 1-liter pouches for about 15 bucks. 2 ends on it. The first one is for contaminated water and the second one is for clean water. You can quickly distinguish between both by looking at the arrow in the middle, which points to the water flow direction. The first thing that you need to do is select a water source. I usually prefer to use cleaner water sources such as springs or rivers, but you can also use a puddle, a lake, or something similar. For instance, here I'm in a middle of a swamp and this is a pretty clear water source. The next step is to actually collect some water. You do that by filling the water pouches with contaminated water. I found that it's much easier to fill these pouches in fast-flowing water, but you can also use them in still water sources such as this one. One tip is to use your mouth to blow up the pouch before attempting to fill it up just like this. Just be sure to clean the cap off first if the water source is very contaminated, because you don't want any bacteria to get inside your mouth. After you've filled the pouches with water, the next step is to start filtering the water. You do that by screwing on the water filter to the water pouch, turning it upside down and gently squeezing the water filter. That's basically it, but there are a few other ways that you could use this water filter. The first one is to drink directly from the water filter. I usually do that whenever I'm near a water source for drinking as much water as I can before leaving. Another way is to skip the pouch entirely and use the straw attachment for drinking directly from the water source. Another way is to use gravity feed systems. You can attach one end of a hose directly to the contaminated end and the second one to a larger water container that's on top. Personally, I haven't tried these systems because they take up more space and I like to keep it on the lighter side whenever I'm hiking. And now let's perform a simple test. I'll just quickly grab some water over here. I'll pour the dirty water in this glass over here so you can see how dirty is it. And now let's filter the rest of the water in the second glass. So I just finished filtering the water and it looks like the color hasn't changed. It might be some minerals in the water that the filter doesn't filter out. However, the one on the left looks much clearer than the one on the right. Now I'm going to go ahead and drink it. Okay, so now let's see how well... Oh, what's that? Okay, so now let's test how well does this water taste. It doesn't smell like anything. Tastes just like water. It feels weird drinking yellow water. It's actually pretty good. Yeah, so yeah, a solid 8.